Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to you guys? Okay, thank you, Bunty and Astha. Yeah, good evening, Srinidhi. So, guys, yesterday we have completed our leadership topic as well as we were in the middle of, professional ethics area from this booklet which we have, and we have covered my notes. And today we will be completing this area from our booklet, and after that, we will be moving towards the question area from both leadership as well as professional ethics area. So apart from that, I will be showing you today the study hub, which I promised yesterday that how to use that study hub and from where you can get extra question apart from our book. See, after the topic area in our book, you can see that there are questions present, and apart from that, if you want to practice more question, you can have look at ACCA Study Hub, which is the official resource of ACCA now. See, this is our book, and in our book, we have question and answer section. So, for every topic area, maximum 2 question you can practice from this book or ACCA Study Hub. Rest, our focus will be on long question area. So, before I start the topic, let me give you a quick guide to ACCA Study Hub, how to use ACCA Study Hub. So, most of you are registered into ACCA, right? Okay, so if you are registered into ACCA, you might be having your you will be having your my ACCA ID, and with your my ACCA ID, you can log into your ACCA portal, and within that portal, you have study resources which I have mentioned you in the last class as well. And after choosing your desired qualification and selecting your subject, just like in our case, our subject is SBL, you can get this screen, and these are the exam resources which you will be using throughout your ACCA journey for different subjects. Just like, let me giving you a tour that yes, we have examination team guidance which I recommend every time before examination, 15 to 20 days before examination. This thing you should at least give a try to at least spend 15 minutes 20 minutes to read, to understand what examiner is guiding you. Next is again professional skills specifically for SBL. Again, this we will be covering in our lecture. Again, apart from our lecture, I will recommend go and before your examination, 1 month prior to your examination, you must check this area. Like, we have a video on this and you have to watch this video. Maybe if you are free these days, you can have a look on this video as well, but after 2 to 3 lectures. Now, next is again past exam and question practice, which you will have to do. Certain areas we will be covering. Okay, so you can see the screen. Okay. Okay, guys, can you see it now? Okay, so see, I just have logged into, my ACCA portal and just I typed examination resources and just the way we did yesterday. And I am just showing you certain resources. And like, we have examination report. This gives the idea about what blunders students have done in the past exam, and these blunders you have to avoid in your examination. So it is must requirement, and I recommend minimum 3 examination report. How to use that I will be guiding in our upcoming lectures. Now, again, we have the SBL mock exam. Again, we have the mock exam for other subject as well. So whatever paper you are planning, make sure that pre that attempt mock. And I would recommend one thing, till the pre-December mock is out, we have pre-September mock in this portal. Make sure to download that. Reason being, because in the next attempt they will be giving you different mocks, so you should have that mock saved in your system so that you can practice this as well according to the examination condition. Again, yesterday someone was mentioning me, ma'am, like I am planning to appear in March attempt. So if suppose you are planning to appear in March or June or maybe some other attempt or any other paper, you want to know whether there is some change in the examination or new topic introduction, we have like technical articles. Recent technical articles have very important role, and in this attempt as well, in two papers, technical articles were tested in APM area and in AAA area. Regarding the sustainability related issue was tested. So make sure you have a look on the recent technical article. That means within, like up to 6 to 8 months, technical articles which have been launched, you have to make sure till the time they have not been tested, it is predictable that they will be tested in any paper. They can be tested in any paper. So make sure you read the recent technical article. Again, these are the some exam technique guidelines which we will be covering in our lectures. So which as I was mentioning, and I received a message from one of the student today that ma'am, regarding the question practice. So see, we will be covering the question practice from ACCA Study Hub because it is the official resource of ACCA along with this book. Study Hub is a combination of Kaplan and BPP. Most of you are new here, so you might not be able to understand what BPP and
ఎప్పుడులే
Kaplan.
ఎప్పుడే ఎరువులవుతానా
So what BPP and Kaplan are. So just let me. Okay, Vedant. After showing this, I will show you again. Like you want to, understand how I opened the examination resources. I'll go back. First, I have already opened this study hub related area. So after that, I'll show you. So yes, like as I was mentioning that about VPP and Kaplan, these were approved content partners, providers till ACC Study Hub was launched. Now the contract is as same just like the previous time period. Now they are known as content providers. So, they are valid. If you want to practice more questions from Kaplan or BPP, you can for any paper. But make sure you are practicing from the recent resource. Most of the students use resources from the Telegram groups. They might be outdated. So make sure you check the year which you are referring to. So this is our, official, we can say ebook by ACCA. This contains details of each and every single subject area. Like in our area, we have SBL. So you just have to click on the subject which you want to. And again, after, logging into this, you will be getting the detailed information about topic areas. You will be getting detailed questions, practice questions, long questions. It's just like an ebook. Downloading the full book is not possible. You can download single topic wise or chapter wise or question wise area from this portal. Argatha, I'll show you how to assess the past paper as well. Like yesterday, I showed the examination platform. That examination platform contain past papers. Were you present in the last class? Okay. No problem. I'll show you. If there was any student who, there is any student who was not present at that time, I'll show you again that yes, how to use the ACCA practice platform, which contain the past papers, practice papers, and again, that is a pattern of ACCA examination. So see, this is our module. This is our ACCA study hub, which contain detailed information of all the chapters, and like topic areas are also explained, like each and every topic area is explained in a very detailed manner. And again, there is option to mark any area which you feel that okay, it is difficult or it is easy, so you can mark that. Again, quiz are not relevant in professional level paper. If you want to do that to check your understanding part, that is fine. Otherwise, in professional level paper, we are just tested with long questions, so there is no requirement to cover quiz in professional level paper. So see, these are the questions which not all. I won't be saying that yes, you should be practicing all the question, but yes, we can practice single chapter wise areas, and we can practice the full exam type question from this study hub. So I won't be recommending that okay, go and check all the questions, because I don't think so it is of relevance. So any doubts till now in this area? Okay, so this is our ACCA study hub, which contains the questions and the study related material. So, there was one student who was saying, ma'am, how to, open this area. So again, mentioning you, this is your portal. You have to click on the study resources. And again, you have to click on your ACCA qualification. Post opening this, you have to select your subject, whichever subject you are planning, and you will be getting each and every area over here. Pre-scene is also available here. Everything is available here only. And again, someone was mentioning me, ma'am, about past papers. So past paper are available here only. So by clicking on this area, you just have to log in. You just have to, fill your details, your ID and password, and you can access the past paper as well. Is that fine? Yes, guys. Now is that fine? Okay, so now let's finish the topic area from this book, and then we will be continuing the question practice. After every 2 or 3 topic area, we will be doing the question of those areas. So it won't be possible to pick a single area, because it will be difficult for you, because sometime you will see there are certain areas in questions which are linked. So after completing two areas, I will be picking questions for practice. Okay. So yesterday we were discussing about the professionalism, professional code of ethics. So can anyone tell me what is the meaning of public interest? Just make the session interactive. So yes, what is the meaning of public interest? Yes. Basically, we have to, take every action being a part of, a good reputed organization. We have to consider the interest of all the stakeholders, not just, the company or just the shareholders. So yes, that means our decision should be based upon the well-being of all. So now it is, very important for companies to plan their action based upon the fact that yes, companies can't take all the action based upon the profitability. They have the moral responsibility towards the society, towards the employees, towards the government. They have, like, to think about each and every stakeholders nowadays. They can't be selfish. So yes, because nowadays, as I have mentioned in the previous class as well, that we provide integrated report. And now it is important for us to provide details in a very explained manner that what we are doing for the society. Just take the example of Tata company, right? So what Tata is doing, they are mentioning that, okay, what we are doing for healthcare, what we are doing for the education, what we are doing for the environment using the renewable resources or non-renewable resources, what we are doing in terms of our business activities, and how our business activities are contributing to other areas. So this is something which you have to mention in your reporting. So again, if you are doing something for society, what is gonna to be impact? The steel, like, the taking the example of Tata company, and if I mention you about my personal area of interest, if I would be working in an industry, I definitely want to work in the companies like Tata, because Tata is known as the ethical person in the whole industry. So that's why people prefer good working environment, good organization who do something better for the all other stakeholders. So yes, they are renowned for the public welfare and public interest. Now, see, social responsibility, it doesn't come, alone, right? Social responsibility means we have to think about the society. Like, being an accountant, we have to make sure that our responsibility is not just with, limited to preparing the financial statement, preparing the accounts, but yes, we have to make sure that the employer, the company whose financial statement we are preparing, are unbiased. They are prepared considering the effect on the society. That's why we should have a good system in place. That means we should have internal as well as external auditor to make sure that how the company is doing its routine purpose activities. Now, there is a term known as corporate social responsibility. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of that? Corporate social responsibility? Yes, both of you are correct. So yes, like, we know that business is connected to the society. That's why we are giving back to the society, because we are using the resources of society, be in terms of like financial resources, be in terms of, like, we are getting employees in terms of, like, manpower. We are getting the renewable and non-renewable resources from the society. So that's why it is our responsibility to consider general society welfare as well. So yes, it is now important for companies to align the organization with ethical stakeholders. We have to make sure the enhancement of the business relationship. We should keep in mind that business relationships are strong considering the ethical requirement. And again, we should incorporate risk mitigation. Risk mitigation means like the risk prevailing in our business with respect to the society related areas. Now, see, we have already, covered the leadership related area. So, a good leader, we know that a good leader is the one who is responsible, who is addressing his areas towards the society, towards the environment. So, again, a good leader is having the responsibility regarding the economy, regarding the society, regarding the environment as well. So yes, see, I won't be, just spoon feeding you with this theory portion. I will be just guiding you, and then after that, we will be discussing questions. So this is just a past, past situation what have happened in the economy, right? So now, the concept of responsible leadership. A good responsible leader is a person who is ready to take responsibility, who is ready to consider the accountability towards the general society, towards his decision. Based upon those decisions, the company will flourish, or maybe company will have to suffer. So that's why a good leader is the one who is ready to take the risk, considering he will be responsible for his action. And again, he has to make sure that yes, his decisions are now sustainability based. Now, what are the sustainability based decision, sustainable business decision? And sustainability is something which is new in ACCA syllabus area, and again it is very important. And in the last attempt, sustainability related topic area was tested. What is the meaning of sustainability? Anyone who knows? Long term. Yes, Priyanshu, it relate to long term. Basically, we have to make sure that we are using the resources in such a way that the need of future are also met. Like using the resources like in that quantity that we are in a position to save it for the future generation as well. Like, it is being said that considering the petrol, use petrol in such a quantity that our future generations are able to use that, because there is a shortage. Like save water for our future generation. Don't cut down trees because we need to consider the environment. So these are the sustainability related area, basically linking towards our long term related areas. So yes, there is some example regarding sustainability, and we have the example, first example, considering the community and social impact. So if we think about, sustainability, and in our business decision, we have certain examples. One of the example is Project Shakti. So like Project Shakti is maybe you guys are aware or not. I have, read this in an article. So this is, regarding, giving women empowerment, or specifically rural area women, so that these women can get financial independence. They can think about their future, because in rural area, see, we are in urban area, and in urban area we are seeing that women are growing, but is again important to consider the growth of our rural area women's. They need independence, they might not be educated. So in term of labor, in term of like education, we can provide them help, and make their future secure. So this was somehow like a project. So you don't have to mention the name of project, you don't have to learn these project. These are certain examples just for your reference, okay, how these companies are initiating in term of helping general public, in term of future development. So these are certain examples for your reference only. So again, considering the environmental responsibility, so what Hindustan Unilever have done, they have settled a ambitious goal for water conservation, because we know that we have limited water now. Like in my last class, student mentioned me, ma'am, our earth is 71% covered with water. So see, we know that Earth is 71% covered with water, but can we use that 71% of water area? So yes, we need to make sure that yes, we are utilizing the water in such a way as like we are not wasting it and we are behaving just like a responsible citizen. And yes, we need to make sure that we are covering the waste management issue. And again, we are promoting the sustainable agriculture. That's why in last couple of years, government have initiated that use of non-plastic bags because they consider these bags can harm the general environment, the soil, and they can create air pollution, water pollution, because people used to throw these bags in water. And again, our water animals, our soil animals can get danger from these plastic bags. Again, thinking about the sustainable economic sustainability, that means we are focusing about future, considering the skills, considering the ethical areas, considering the market development, considering the economic development, how to make money, but by being ethical. So again, next area which you can refer, this area you can refer in your question is triple bottom line. Earlier in our financial statement, we were just giving the information about financial information. But nowadays, it is important to provide information regarding non-financial areas as well. That include economic, which is our again financial area, which was covered in our previous reporting areas. But nowadays, we are also providing social issues. We are also providing information regarding the environmental issues. So social issues include like what our company, what our industry is doing towards the society, be it be providing the job opportunities, be it be providing the equality, be it be providing the safe working condition. Yes, this chapter is available in PPT. Yes, Ronak, we have covered, ethics in PPT yesterday. Remember? But on a fast track mode, I need to cover from these notes as well because sometimes student can say that ma'am have taken shortcut. So I don't want to take a shortcut. For your main understanding area, I have covered that from PPT. Now, just for giving you a good reference of each and every point, I am using these notes as well. Because you like in the main paper, I don't want anyone can say that these things were not covered. Okay, so yes, we provide information regarding economic, social, and environmental issue in our reporting these days, like what our company is doing with respect to environment. Like maybe we are using good packaging material which is not harmful, sustainable packaging. Again, we are using the agriculture related products which are not harmful. Like I live in Punjab, and in Punjab area, there are so many pesticides, and like it's an agriculture hub, right? So nearby one area in not my hometown, but nearby one area, this is known as Bathinda. I have heard that there is use of pesticides, and that pesticide is creating cancer. And and nearby area is cancer prone area, nearby cities are cancer prone area. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we are not using harmful resources uh, which are gonna to harm the society. Now, next is common themes and aspects of responsible leadership. So again, for being a good leader, for being a good leader, for being a responsible leader, what I need to do? First of all, I need to consider the ethical judgments. Ethical. So, in a global setting, leader encounter diverse rules, cultural norms, and often lack of legal guidance. So, responsible leaders challenge unethical business norms, assess local condition, and speak out against unethical practices. So, it is important for us to consider we are ethical. We are ethical in terms of, in our business area, the culture is pure, that diversity is present. We are not just hiring same type of person. We have diversity in terms of the gender equality. We have diversity in terms of the religion background. We have diversity in terms of the age variation. Again, force for good, like a good leader is the one who motivate others, who encourage others for changing, but that is for the good. It is for the good for all. It's not that yes, he is having some personal intention. And a good leader should have long term vision. We have covered that. And without proper communication, I can't be a good leader. If I am not in a position to communicate what I am thinking, what I am planning, I am not a good leader. And again, shared responsibility. It is my responsibility to make sure that yes, I am responsible and I am acknowledging the responsibility of the areas which could be challenging for my business area. So, again, next thing is public value. Okay, so can anyone mention me what is the meaning of public value in normal, sense? Yes, little fast because we have just, covering the gist of this, and after that we will be discussing Q&A. Yeah. So basically, Astha, like you mentioned it very in a very good way. But just to let you know, or other student know, there is no correct definition if because we are not just covering. Yes, which add value to the public, correct. So, like, what is good in the eyes of public? What is being valued by the public? And what we consider valuable for general public, like what we are doing for the society, it is a part of public value. So, yes, we need to make sure that we are doing something which is valuable for our society and general public. So, for that purpose, we need to give proper reporting. And for the proper reporting, we need to make sure that we are focusing on corporate social responsibility. So, this is very common term, corporate social responsibility. What is the meaning of corporate social responsibility? Yes, basically, we should consider the need of all the stakeholders, not just shareholders. And yes, we have the responsibility to giving back to the society what we have got from the society because we are getting resources from the society. And that's why we are doing these reportings, integrated reporting. We are providing reporting on the triple bottom lighting area. So, and we are also following the triple P model. That means we are measuring the impact on people, which is again society. We are providing the details on planet, which is again part of environmental impact. And we are providing details on profit, which is part of the economic related area. So triple bottom line and triple P model, triple P model is same, just the name is different, everything is same. So basically, again, we have to consider people, we have to consider general society in term of people, we have to consider the planet and environmental area and profit and economic area while giving our reporting. And integrated reporting, I have mentioned in previous class as well. That means we are providing details on our six capitals, which we will be covering in detail in our upcoming lectures. That companies provide now integrated reporting. Earlier, only financial statement were being provided. Now, non-financial as well as internal, external, and tangible, intangible, every kind of information is being provided. Integrated reporting includes six capitals, that includes social, human, natural, financial, manufacturer, intellectual capital. And when I, covered this integrated reporting for the first time, that time period, Sheen website was banned. So I, out of nowhere, I, created this mnemonic Shin FM, because recently I completed my FM paper, and then at that time website was banned, and then I created Shin FM. So this is my social, human, natural, intellectual, financial, and manufacturing capital. So after that, I never forget this mnemonic, but you want to learn anyway, you can. So yes, that means we are providing details of our six capitals, which we will be covering in detail in upcoming lectures. Anything till now? Okay. So see, we are seeing that normal people are investing in companies, and they have funds in the company, and that's why they want security. So IFSC is again a international forum body, right? So this body, this is known as the International Federation of Accountant. So this body has issued a statement, and you don't need to remember of this pandemic, this thing, it's just for your journal knowledge. So they have mentioned that okay, in history we have seen certain crisis related area in respect to financial malpractice, that yes, directors were providing the wrong information with respect to financial funds, and that's why it is important to consider the importance of true information, and they are now more strict. And that's why it is important for an accountant to remain vigilant and uphold high standard of ethical conduct. And that's why we have now good standards. And again, it is important to have diligent area of risky areas. We need to consider this area is risky, and in risky area I need to be alert. And if there is a situation of uncertainty, I need to consider whether uh, I will be in a position to deal with that uncertainty. So in past practice, we have seen that accountants are doing unethical practices, unethical behaviors in terms of their profession. And that's why it is important to consider that ethics are important. So yes, considering the, examples, past examples, professional service firm devising aggressive tax avoidance scheme for clients. See, we are accountant, most of you are chartered accountant, so you know that you are guiding your clients that how to invest in certain area to save money, and that is fine because it's our duty to guide, but in ethical way. But sometimes there are certain accountants who are guiding their clients in such a way which is not that ethical. And suppose the person is obliged to pay around 2 lakh of tax, and with these practices only he will be paying 10,000 tax maybe, or 20,000 tax maybe. So do you think it's good? Saving tax is good, right? But if you are doing some unethical means and you are promoting someone to do something unethical to just save money, that doesn't sound good. So yes, now again we have seen that yes, audit partner breaching independence rules by holding share in the client. Again, this is not allowed. Maybe few of you will be choosing AAA in upcoming papers. So in AAA, you will be covering independence and the importance of independence. And if few of you have covered F8, you might have covered independence related areas. So it is very important for specifically external auditor to be independent, and they are not supposed to have in shares in the client's company. That will create self-interest threat, because they won't be doing something, or they won't be publishing such information which might not be good for the company, because they know that if I will report something negative about that specific company, the value of the share is going to be declined. So that's why they thought of being silent or ignorant in those specific areas. So these are the areas where we consider profit before ethics. But according to law, it is not acceptable. So yes, we should be focused toward building the trust of the society, because journal people are investing in companies by just thinking in their mind that accountant have guided, that accountant have audited these financial statements. Now we have code of ethics, and these fundamental principles we have covered in the previous session. So like, just to let you know that our ACCA syllabus is based upon the principle based approach on the conceptual framework, and this is something which is important for you. So we have two systems. One is the rule based approach, and another one is principle based approach. Rule based and principle based approach. So rule based approach is a Sarbanes-Oxley law approach. Maybe few of you are, if you are CA, so you might have heard in Indian auditing. I know that I have covered in my auditing paper. Sarbanes-Oxley law was in the syllabus area. So yes, this applies to US based countries. And on the other hand, we have principle based approach. So see, with the name itself, we can get the idea. Rules are somehow more rigid, but principles are flexible. Principle are the guidelines that yes, you should do this thing in these certain situation. Rules must be followed. So that's why rule based approach, US based approach is quite strict. And on the other hand, we have principle based approach, which is followed in UK based countries, and which is part of our syllabus area, is quite flexible. This gives us idea that what you have to do, and if you are not in a position to follow that, what you are doing, you have to mention it. So a principle based approach is also known as comply and explain approach. So this is part of your syllabus area. That's why I have mentioned. So, see, in our code of ethics, we are following the framework-based approach. That means guidelines. We are following the standards. We are following the rules to, check that we are ethical or not. So, an organization management conduct should be assessed in line with the appropriate professional code of ethics. Only ethics code explicitly referred in the SBL. So see, we are just, covering the ethical codes. Nothing else is covered from the auditing related area. So being an accountant, we need to follow, like, for being a good accountant, basically, we need to follow these fundamental principles of professionalism. And I have mentioned mnemonic in the previous class as well. Remember? PICOP? Yes, guys. Do you remember PICOP? Yeah, so being a good accountant, we need to consider these professional ethics. And if there is any situation which could threaten my ethics, is my threat to professional ethics. And again, this is very important area. So, professional ethics, integrity, that means we have to make sure that we are maintaining the honesty, we are maintaining the integrity, and we are uh, unbiased. And again, we are preparing the financial statement with proper competence and due care. We are respecting the confidentiality of our client and its related information. And we are behaving professionally. That means we are adhering to the rules and regulation, and we are not doing something which is gonna to damage the reputation of our profession. So me being an ACCA member, I should not be doing something which is gonna to tarnish the image of ACCA body. So, see, as we have already discussed the principle-based approach, just let me tell you that, okay, principle-based approach is flexible. So that means in certain situation, if you are not in a position to follow that, you can follow something else which is more applicable in your situation. And you just have to mention that why I was not able to comply that. But on the other hand, rule based approach is a tick based approach. That means you have to follow that. And see, if there is rigidity, sometimes we are following that, but we are not happy and we try to manipulate the situation. Again, in principle based approach, it's a self regulatory system. That means we are adopting the areas where we feel it is required. And again, it is more flexible. That means we are happily accepting this approach, these guidelines. What are the guidelines? You need not to remember because it is not an auditing area. Now, next thing which you should be aware about is conflict of interest. So can anyone tell me what is the meaning of conflict of interest? Is there anyone who knows what is the meaning of different opinion? Okay. In terms of the little explanation is required. Okay. Taking undue advantage in terms of how Bunty? I guess Rohan. Okay. So see, answer is mixed match of the answer, the right answer. So basically, conflict of interest. Yes, Priyanshu. Okay. So see, conflict of interest situation will arise when, my personal motive is gonna to harm my professional motive. Sometimes I know that if I, I have two clients, and if I know that, and these two clients are anti or they are related to each other, maybe buyer or supplier. So I know that I can, if I will be doing, something, then that is gonna to harm the image of another one. And I am choosing the one client, and I am choosing to help the one client, which is more beneficial to me. Uh, this is the situation of conflict of interest. Suppose I am connected with two institutions which are anti, which are opposite to each other. So this will be the situation of conflict of interest because my decision will be biased. Maybe I will be thinking about my own personal motives instead of the welfare of my client. So, described as private influence on the official duties. Someone mentioned me about the shares. Yes, it was good example. Next is undermining the impartiality, a situation when potential to compromise an individual impartiality due to a possible misalignment between the self-interest and professional and public interest. That means my professional interest misaligned with my personal interest. And last but not the least, that yes, I am in a situation of interference with obligation. That means I have to, like as I mentioned you, just take the example. I don't know, like I always try to give example in terms of movies so that student can remember. So there was a movie, named as Ready. I don't know you are uh, you have watched that or not. So like that person was the accountant of two oppositions. So like he was supposed to like both the parties know that he is the accountant of the other parties, so both the parties try to induce him that okay, what he's planning to do, tell me what their next plan is. So this is the situation of when my obligations are somehow induced due to my personal interest. Suppose if I am opening, like you, most of you are chartered accountant, so you are working in a outsourcing firm, suppose. And on the other hand, you have also opened your own outsourcing firm. That is not allowed. That will be a situation of conflict of interest because you won't be able to perform your professional duties in unbiased manner. You will try to get those clients in your own firm. Correct? Now, again, discussing about certain ethical threats and failure, like, uh, cultural disparities, like, difference in the cultural and norms lead to variation of expectations, and that could create the ethical situation. Again, unreported ethical issues where the ethical, there are certain situations. It is not possible to report and find each and every ethical situation. So these situation could be harmful. Again, uh, just taking the example, ignorance of consequences. Like we are not sure about the consequences and we are just of the view, okay, let it be, we'll see it later on. So this is a situation of, these are the factors which could create harmful ethical situation. We have weak corporate governance. So if we don't have good corporate governance, that means we don't have anyone to have a check on the areas, and that could impact our ethical related areas. And again, if we don't have sufficient knowledge about the ethical principle, you don't have the knowledge about being a chartered, you don't have the knowledge about confidentiality, you don't have the knowledge about the integrity, that would impact your ethical situation. So in business area, there are few more examples, like power misuse. Suppose you have that power, and you are in a position to buy something on behalf of company. So if you are misusing that power in terms of that, you are giving that tender to your own relative. And see, giving the order to your relative is, it's not something which is unethical, but if that person is not capable and you are still giving that order to that your relative so that you want the benefit of your relative, then that is something which is not allowed. On fair dealing, it is allowed. Again, favoritism. So suppose if you know that there is certain client which is more favorite to you, there is certain supplier which is more favorite to you, you are giving them certain advantage. Again, deception, like withholding or distorting the truth. That means you are trying to hide or conceal the truth. Again, unsafe products. So these are the certain example, like you are selling certain products which you know that they are damaging to the society, but still you are doing because you feel that okay, they are more profitable, because the cheap product is going to be damageable to the society. Again, you are providing false information for your own personal benefit. You are doing some unfair competition. just to to take advantage from that specific client. So these are the certain examples of ethical issues which are not allowed and we should not be involved in those activities. Now let's discuss certain activities and examples. So, following the sudden departure of audit client finance director, you have been asked to prepare the financial statement for your audit client. So, you are the financial accountant in a manufacturing company. Your financial director has instructed you to falsify the inventory record so that true age of slow moving item is concealed. So these are the certain two conditions, situations. So you have to discuss the potential threat to fundamental principle in each of the above situation. Without looking at the answer, tell me which threat could arise in specific situation. Like your audit client's finance director have just departed and you have been asked to prepare the financial statement for your audit client. So I have already mentioned you the threats which could arise. Tell me any point. And again in the second situation as well, that yes, you are you are the financial accountant of manufacturing company. And again, your director have instructed to falsify. Yes, guys, please participate because this participation is going to be beneficial for you in the main examination.
And we are acting as an external auditor, no? Like whatever we will give the opinion would be as an
Yeah,
auditor, right?
yeah.
So, ma'am, firstly, the threat would be that as an external auditor, we cannot make the financial statements as it's a manager's responsibility to do that.
Okay, next.
Next would be it's under objectivity. Objectivity states that there could be conflict of interest and bias, which could lead to threat to the objectivity.
Correct. Have you covered the auditing paper?
Yes, ma'am. This quarter only I gave.
AAA. So if you have covered AAA, other students, you have not done that. So just let me tell you one thing. The preparation of financial statement is the responsibility of management. Have you covered this area? Like assuming management responsibility?
Yes, ma'am, in audit.
Yeah. So yes, you can mention this area as well that yes, preparing the financial statement is the responsibility of management. It is not responsibility of an auditor. And again, your conflict of interest, your objectivity, your biasness area, you can mention definitely. Next situation.
Integrity could also be threatened here, no, because we are not being
Yes,
honest here.
yes, correct. Yes, Astha, independence, ethical, independence is correct. Ethical, we are just discussing about ethics only, Astha. Yes, next. Remember PICOP. Whenever you have certain ethical situation, remember PICOP in your head. Integrity you have mentioned. Now PICOP. P is professional competence and due care. That means you have to prepare the financial statement and you have to consider that yes, whatever work you are doing is according to the knowledge which you have done, covered in your syllabus area or in your practical experience. So again, professional competence and due care have not been followed here. Correct. And again, next thing, which is, as I have already mentioned you, that being an ACCA member, what is expected from me? I should not be involved in certain activities which could harm the image of ACCA body. So this is not a professional behavior. Correct? Yes, guys, please participate. It's just a normal session, right? It's just normal discussion. for your confidence, because in SBL, the more you will be participating, the more you will be thinking, it is more easy for you to crack this paper. And trust me, this is very easy paper. So yes, these are the certain ethical situation. Now again, so when we have to address the ethical conflict, right, we have been recommended by ACCA certain, areas. Like whatever, like first of all, you have to understand the relevant fact about your client. Like, yes, you have to understand the situation. Like, imagine yourself like an auditor. So whenever you are entering into the client place, understand the situation, understand this, the threats could arise. And again, you have to understand the ethical concern. If I am accepting this work, is there any ethical issue arising? Again, after that, like if you are considering the ethical issues, you have to understand the fundamental principles, your PICOM. And then after that, you will be checking certain, and it is not important to follow the order, or like it's not a theoretical paper just like cramming and writing. So it's just a idea. Like, you will be checking some internal document, internal control related area. Most of you are auditors, chartered accountant. So this thing you must be aware about. Okay, internal auditor, check the internal control related areas. And again, you need to check what is your responsibility when you are working with that specific client. And yes, you can maybe, if you feel that there are certain ethical related issues, you can consult someone else prior to rejecting that offer. It is not compulsory that you have to always reject that offer. Like, because this is not auditing, so I can't tell you in detail, because we have situations like when to accept, when to reject, and depending upon the magnitude of threat. So you will be considering that issue in detail. So first of all, your first step is check the issue, consider the issue. Like whenever you are trying to resolve a issue, you have to consider that issue, what actually that issue is. And again, next step is you have to check the appropriate course of action. And again, weigh the consequences of each possible course of action. Like, okay, in situation A, in situation B, this will be the impact. And if it is unresolved, consult with the appropriate person. If it is not solved by your end, then you will be talking to the right person which may be able to help you. And again, consider consulting with those charged with governance. So yes, there was one guy who appeared in AAA, AA, I don't know. So can you mention me what is the meaning of those charged with governance?
Ma'am,
Help your mates.
those charged with
Yes.
governance are the people who manage the overall internal control of the organization. They set the tone at the top, and they are basically the governing body who manage the overall functions of the organization.
Yes, basically they are the top bodies, governing body of the organization, to whom we can report whatever wrong is happening in the end of management. So yes, if they are not in a position to help you, because maybe it can be a situation. Just imagine like a movie. Like, yes, you are going to the top management. That, yes, management, something is happening. Like, in the lower department, and then in the end you get to know they are also involved. So yes, that's why they are not in a position to help you. So if they are not in a position to give you a resolution, then you can obtain the professional advice. Because if you are not doing this, that can harm your professionalism. So maybe being an auditor, you might need to go to jail, because in our country the regulation are not that fast or strict, we know that. But if considering the other countries, the rules are very strict. So this is international syllabus, so you need to consider, if you are not following the procedure, maybe you might need to follow, or might need to bear the consequences. So you need to make yourself safe from this mess. Now again, we have one model, like just for your understanding purpose, go through this. Don't need to mug up this. Definitely, you don't need to mug up this. So yes, AAA model encompasses 7-step decision-making process. Consider the ethical issues. So what are the process? First thing, like step one, you have to gather the facts surrounding the case. Like, okay, what is a case? What are the main facts of that area? Then again, you have to find out the dilemmas regarding the ethics in that specific case. Like, okay, in this situation, this could happen. And again, determine the norms, values, and principle. Okay, this could be the case. Then after that, like, you have to think about the potential course of action. Okay, in this particular situation, these options are also available. After that, assess each option from step 4. Again, like what are the values, what are the principle, you will be checking, and based on that, you will be deciding what steps I can take. And yes, make decision on the best course of action. What will be more suitable for you, you will be taking decision based on that area only. So it's just a model. You don't need to learn the steps, but yes, at least cover these step once. This is something which you need to cover. Tucker model. So, as I mentioned like already that earlier in SBL paper, they were directly referring that you have to follow that specific model. This is a model by Tuckers. So now, sometimes like only 20-25% cases, they give you reference that follow the Tucker model, follow the Pestel model, follow the Balogun-Hochhuele model. But if they are not uh, mentioning any model, you can still focus on specific model, or without writing the name of model, you can give reference. Okay, considering the profitable points, considering the legal points. Now, what Tucker model is, basically it is an ethical decision making tool. Whenever you have to make a decision based upon the ethics, whenever you are confused about the ethical facts. So what you will be doing, you will be following this Tucker 5 forces 5 question model. So what you will be doing, you have to imagine that yes, whether these are the 5 factors, and again I have created a mnemonic which is PEFL. You might have heard about Pestel. Yes, guys, have you heard about Pestel model? So again, taking that as a base, I have created a mnemonic as PEFL. It is quite similar. So PESTEL is again part of your SBL syllabus area. So whenever you have to take a decision that whether you should go ahead with that specific decision or not, you will be considering these points. Whether that decision, whether that project, whether that new investment is profitable for you, then you will be considering economical and profitable. Again, it is same. So yes, after that, you will be considering the fair, and after that you will be considering, is it legal, is it environmentally sustainable, so, and again it is right, ethically right. So you have to consider these facts, and based upon these facts, you will be making decision whether to go ahead with that specific project or like investment or not. So these are the PEFL points. Now consider a situation, hypothetical situation. And from PEFL area, in past, I have seen 7 to 8 scenarios. Not a full-fledged question, but yes, a part of a question. So one hypothetical scenario is in front of you, like RIL is considering expanding into a new region. They learn that gaining the necessary permits and approving quicker would involve bribery local official, a common but illegal practice in that area. So yes, suppose you are planning to invest in certain areas, but again, considering our country, it is, most common to bribe someone. Although it is not allowed, although it is illegal, but people are still doing, and we know that. So we have to apply the Tucker 5 question model. So yes, first question is it profitable? Obviously, with paying the bribe, you will speed up your process. You will get the permission at early stage and you can grow at early stage. Next is it legal? You will be considering that whether giving bribe is legal or not. And again, in question or in case study, already it is mentioned. And we know that giving bribe is totally unethical. It is not legal. Next thing, is it fair? Obviously, it is not fair. It is unjustifiable to our competitors who are following ethical practice. It could harm the journal community as well. So it is not fair. Again, it is right. Again, right or wrong depend upon ethical situation. And sometimes, just let me give you one example. It is being said that murder is wrong. We know that murder is wrong. But suppose if one criminal is trying to shoot you and you are doing that, you just you also have gun or some knife in front of you, and you just kill that person to just save yourself. Now you'll be saying that in front of law, judge, that I did that just because of self defense. According to you, it is right. According to society, maybe it is wrong. So we have ethical dilemmas in certain situations. So considering shareholders who have invested in our business, it could be ethical. Considering journal society, it is not right. Now, this area will be diplomatic depending upon the question. Now, sustainability means futuristic, like environmentally. So, yes, now in the main question study, you will get the information regarding environmental area as well. So, if uh, in this case, it is not mentioned about future areas. So, if it is not mentioned, you will be saying because it's totally judgmental. Again, you have to justify your points. Maybe there are certain students who will be saying it is sustainable because in the future the business will grow, that will give job opportunities for future employees. So again, it is sustainable. But on the other hand, someone will say if we are doing this, we will be doing the same thing in some other area as well, and illegal practice will be continuing. So you have multiple option. You just have to justify your answer in SBL. You got that idea? In certain scenarios, there will be no right or wrong answer. Just giving you my own example, when I was appearing for my own SBL paper, we were four friends and we attempted four different answers of a specific task. And that task was of 20 marks. And we all thought that, okay, 20 marks is something which is very huge, and any one will pass, other will fail. And by God grace, we all passed at very good marks. So it is something which is based upon how you convince other. Okay. Now, next is ethical threat categories. So see, we have already covered the threat categories. We have self-interest threat. That means we have like financial or personal interest in client. That is the situation of self-interest threat that could impact my decision-making skill. Next is my self-review threat. That means I am reviewing my own work. The work which I have done, I am checking that own work. Next is advocacy threat. That means I am in a position that I am representing my clients. And if I am representing my clients, that will gonna to harm like other person's decision. Maybe based upon my name, they are investing in that specific company. Again, familiarity threat. That means I am having long association with my client, and that's why I won't be in a situation to be unfair. I will be just excessively trusting my clients, and that's why my objectivity will be compromised. Next is intimidation. If my client is in a position to intimidate me, to direct me, to guide me, to perform certain course of action, that is a situation of intimidation. Is that fine? Yes, guys, I know that like a half time have passed and maybe you guys are now feeling tired. Just give me few minutes and definitely I'll be giving you break. Anything till now? Okay. So now let's discuss certain ethical threats and the situation, and you have to answer me these situations. Threat of dismissal over a disagreement about the application of an accounting principle. Which threat it is? I am threatening you that I will fire you. Like, maybe you and me are having some sort of disagreement here. Yes, intimidation threat. Yes, correct, Astha. Correct, Rupa. Yes, correct, Dia. Now, stating publicly that a client result have improved on the previous year before the audit have been completed.
Advocacy.
Correct. Providing actual valuation for an audit client. No, Priyanshu. Yes, Astha, self-review. See, I am already checking the work of my client, which already I have done. So I am doing the valuation services and after that I will be checking that work. Now, free use of client company spotting facilities.
Self-interest.
Yes, self-interest. Pressure to ensure a reduction in fees.
Intimidation.
Intimidation. And again, there could be, self-interest as well. Yeah, self-interest as well. So yes, again, as I have mentioned you, it is not an auditing paper, so you don't need to mug up the safeguard just for your basic understanding, and maybe you want to write some linked question area. Maybe the question area could relate to auditing aspect, although it is not that much tested. So you should know the basic safeguards. Okay, what you can do to eliminate or save yourself from the threatful situation. So maybe you could eliminate that situation fully, like maybe you are removing that relationship completely. Maybe you are applying certain safeguards, like different teams, maybe reviewed checked by someone else. Maybe you are totally declining that work. So there are certain, and again, that depend upon the magnitude of that threat. Suppose receiving gifts from client is not allowed. You are my client. I am not in a position to accept gifts. Maybe you are offering me iPhone 15. I'm not in a position to accept that gift. But suppose if you are giving me one diary, one like one pen, like one like mobile cover, right? So that is just something which is not valuable. So you should make sure that yes, whatever you are receiving in any case, that is under the acceptable level. The threat under the acceptable level is allowed. Is that fine? Again, let's do this situation and after that I'll give you a break. As a qualified accountant, develop technical and training material for Silver College. He has been asked by S. Steve, his line manager, to prepare 3-year forecast of the cost of the technical training department within a very short deadline. Salman suspects that the information will be useful by the company's chief executive as the basis of outsourcing certain training activities and making some Salman's close colleague redundant. Salman is concerned that a forecast of cost will be inadequate for such a business decision and will require more detailed information than he can possibly compile before the deadline. Now, your questions are: explain the ethical conflict in terms of the fundamental principle. Next is identify the matters which S should consider in seeking to resolve the conflict and suggest the possible course of action for solve. Okay, so ethical conflicts in terms of fundamental principle. Fundamental principle, whenever fundamental principle is being mentioned, follow the PICO. Maybe 2, 3, 5, all of the 5, 1 PICO are, to be tested.
Ma'am, it's again in terms of the external auditor, we have to think
Yes,
and answer.
yes, yes, yes. You have PICO, professional competence due care, integrity, objectivity, professional behavior, confidentiality. So these are your PICOP and this will be part of your ethical conflict situation. Because
So, ma'am,
whenever the, yeah,
ma'am, professional care and due care might be threatened because we are being given a timeline that it should be, a very short notice. There is a short deadline. So the nature, timing, extent of the audit procedures might get hampered to meet that deadline.
correct, correct. Yes, next. Yes. Others, please participate. At least tell me wrong. You see, I'm not a school teacher who's gonna to scold you for the wrong answer. It's just about your thought process. I just want that by the end of all the classes, you are in a position to tell me, ma'am, this is the right approach.
It can also affect integrity because he's thinking that his close colleagues will become redundant because of outsourcing of certain activities.
Okay.
And on the same point, it would be like assuming management responsibilities because our activities are being used to take further decisions in terms of redundancy and
Consider only
other.
PICOP. That will be more better.
Okay.
You can link that definitely, but yeah, actually they have specifically mentioned professional like fundamental principles, so I would recommend that will be more better. And we have points. Like, see, there is information regarding the colleagues. He feels that that information will be useful for his colleagues. But again, I am in a position that I am getting access to some confidential information of my client. And I should not leak that information without my client's prior approval, right? Remember, it was part of our auditing area as well. So confidentiality related issue is being impacted. And again, we know that, yes, I have the close relationship with the colleagues. So I will be biased. I can be biased. And again, your integrity is correct. Is that fine? And again, you can also mention the professional behavior as well, because it is not a professional good behavior, to manipulate. Maybe I will be manipulating, maybe, because I am not manipulating. I should not be doing something which is not allowed by profession. Now, next is identify the matters which I should be considering in seeking to resolve this conflict. What I should be considering. And again, you can write any points. It is about just justification of points.
The nature, timing, extent should be based upon the nature of the audit process, not in terms of just meeting the deadline.
Yes, correct. You can write that. And suggest a possible course of action. What he can do?
So since there is a mention of the deadline as well, there should be an external reviewer as well, which can be assigned so that the work can be reviewed, whatever is being performed. Like an EQR can be
Yes.
assigned.
Yes, and again we have we have seen a chain of command that okay, go to this level, go to that level, and again we can check the external advice as well. So you can write that as well. Go to tool charge with governance, because they are specifically mentioning that there is some company chief executive, that information will be used by chief executive. So he need to inform to a specific authority, and if he didn't get any resolution for that, he should seek some professional advice, and in the end maybe he can say no. Okay. So giving you guys a 10 minutes break till 1940. Okay. So after that, I will be starting this fraud related area, and then we will be jumping towards our question practice. Is that fine, guys? Okay. So everyone is back. Guys, are you back? Okay. So now next is regarding the fraud, bribery, and corruption. So can anyone tell me anything about fraud and bribery? We have already discussed something about fraud, bribery, and corruption in the last class.
Ma'am, anything that is done intentionally is fraud, and fraud can be of two types. It can be under misappropriation of asset or fraudulent fraud.
Correct. And again, next, what is bribery? Bribery is a form of corruption. Correct. Yes, bribery is a form of corruption. So yes, Astha, now if you are saying that bribery is a form of corruption, yes, to give money, yes. Yes, if I'm demanding and I am giving some money and any financial or other benefit to someone to make things happen according to my will. So that is part of bribery, because suppose if I want maybe to change the financial statement, to manipulate the financial statement according to my will. So that is again part of bribery. So yes, fraud is intentional act to gain just unjust or undesired advantage, like unjustified advantage, which is not fair. That is fraud. And again, it is totally unfair. I am doing this by intentionally to get benefits from the other person. And bribery is that I am offering financial or other benefit. And again, it's a part of corruption. So So these are, certain terms which are again relating to bribe, like part of corruption. So, forms of corruption vary, but they include bribery, extortion, coercion, psionism, nepotism, patronage, graft, and embezzlement. So these are the certain forms. Bribery, we have already discussed. So now next is about extortion. So what is extortion? Anyone knows? extortion, kidnapping, again, we can include that definitely. So yes, extortion, that means whenever by unlawful, unjustified means I am obtaining something with the threat. Like she have mentioned the example of kidnapping, but again, kidnapping is just example. It's not every time kidnapping case, right? So yes, I am getting money or any property or anything from like some person or some company, some institution through coercion. That means like now next is, I have mentioned the word through coercion. That means extortion is getting something with a threat. Now, extortion done, what is the meaning of coercion? Yes, like yes, influence, yes. So that means like I am threatening someone and I am influencing someone, like yeah, or maybe I'm inducing someone to do something which is as per my will. So it is known as coercion. What is sionism? Cronism, sorry. And this is very common in case of companies. Cronism, companies, political parties. This is very common. Yes, it is kind of favoritism. Yes, I am appointing maybe my friend. Like mostly it is applicable in case of friends at a high level position, at a senior position, and that's why in corporates, in companies, or like in like political parties, this is very common. Now, next is nepotism. This word you might have heard many times on social media. Nepotism. Like most of the time you might have heard he's a nepo kid.
Favoring your closed ones.
No, nepo kids. Closed one, but yeah, like detailed name. Favorite, but yes, how favorite? Nepo kid. Like in Bollywood, this word is very oftenly used. Family members, like like when whenever you are applying this chronism, like offering that position, maybe you might have heard that some person got that movie because he was a nepo kid. He was not that talented. So it is about nepotism, that means favoritism based upon the family relationship, because if you are part of some good family background, you will definitely get that position. Maybe you are not as good as like someone else who is not a nepo kid, but based upon the fact that yes, you are from a sound business background, so a sound maybe political background, maybe sound film industry background, then you will be getting that desired role. Is that fine? Next is patronage. And this thing you might have heard in movie as well. Again, this is used in case of mostly organization, government department, like in terms of financial support, in terms of like any kind of privilege which you are providing to some specific industry, some specific person. It's just part of support. Yes, Asta, it's a support. Now, next is graft. What is the meaning of graft? Anyone aware about graft? So basically, again, graft is something when, like when we are getting some, money, some like financial interest again by unjust, unfair mode. This is graft. And embezzlement. Embezzlement is something which you must have heard. Embezzlement of assets, embezzlement of money. It is stealing. Embezzlement is, yes, stealing of funds or property by like maybe of employer, maybe anyone else. Like like these funds, these properties were with me on the like on the basis of the trust. And yes, mostly employees do that. Like in case of a companies, directors also do that because they have the authority to make decision about the funds of the shareholders, and they are in a position to embezzle the funds of the company. And for that purpose, we must have fiduciary relationship. So have you heard about the word fiduciary relationship? Fiduciary relationship.
It's like doing work in behalf of the other, like the directors and shareholders share a fiduciary relationship among themselves.
Yes. They are in a fiduciary relationship. That means duty of utmost due care. It is being mentioned as duty of utmost due care and duty in good faith. Basically, just take an example. Suppose my neighbors are living in abroad and they are handing over the keys of their home to me to take care of their home. And I am not taking their care, like taking care of their home, and I'm like, misutilizing their home. And just like suppose like maybe I have offered their home in the form of PG, and I'm like something like that. So like I'm not doing work in good faith. Okay. So now what could be the impact of these areas, like whatever we have covered in terms of corruption, bribery? So what could be the effect? What could be the impact of that? See, if bribery is happening, if corruption is happening, like maybe the fraud is happening, so what is gonna to be impact? It is gonna to impact our community. Again, it is illegal activity. So again, harm to the channel society. So if bribery is happening, like maybe the funds are misutilized, again with corruption, like the way they were supposed to use, they are not being used. Again, like government could lose outs by funds, because if the embezzlement is done, so that could impact. Again, poor is gonna to suffer. So you can mention points in your own language as well. And again, if the trust is gonna to breach, no one is gonna to take risk to invest in companies. So what we can do in terms of best practice to combat fraud, bribery, and corruption. So suppose you are a you are a manager. So what you can do? You are an accountant. You are a future auditor. So what you are gonna to do?
Make sure that the internal controls are proper in place to detect these fraud and bribery on time.
Yes, yes. Proper governance structure. Good, Astha. Correct. Next. Yes, yes. Please participate. See, all these points you will remember in your main paper area. Definitely that yes. Okay, in this question, I have mentioned the point to ma'am. Definitely. See, whenever we want to incorporate a good culture, the most important thing is that we want everyone to be participating in that culture. So there is need of top level commitment. If you have, like Vedant, if you have covered auditing as well, you might remember commitment from top.
Yes, ma'am. They set the tone at the top, whatever their behavior is
Yes,
and how they are implementing will affect the
yes.
organization.
So if I being the manager, I am corrupted, how I can solve the issues of the company? So top level management should be committed. There should be proper, like checking, reviewing, and again, maybe the proper training process should be done in case of whenever I am hiring new employees. Again, a client screening process. Again, employee screening process. Whenever a new employees is being hired, so background verification is done, and this is very common in case of corporates. So why this background verification is done? Because they want double assurity that yes, that particular person is not having some wrong background. Maybe he was fired just because of his unethical practices. Correct? So that could be the case. So you can suggest whatever you want to according to the case study. Make sure in SBL, whatever our response is, it should be based upon the case study. No vague point, no direct point. Now, like we have discussed all the pointers. Now, let's move towards a question. So I will be taking a question from our question bank only. The questions from like this booklet only. So like let's go with. You want to do question of leadership first today, or like professionalism? Because I assume that only one will be possible today. So which topic area you want to cover? Okay, let's do leadership because maybe both. So see, the best way of reading the question of SBL is to read the requirement first. Okay, Rupam, you want professionalism. So anyone else who want professionalism today? I'll try to do both, but assuming the time limitation, I think only one will be covered. In any way, we will be covering both, in the next lecture maybe. So I'm following the trend then, if no one is responding. So is what I was saying, that in SBL or in any professional level paper, make sure to read the requirement first. I have mentioned you that how the paper will be. And I guess there was one student who was saying that, ma'am, in the last lecture, she was not present when I showed the examination platform. So for just your reference, I'm just giving you gist of the screen, the exact screen, how the examination screen will look like. I have the PPT, I have the PDF of that as well. So the main examination screen will look like this. So see, this will be your initial screen. You will be having the information over here. You will be having the overview of the company, and it's like older version. So that's why now you will be having pre-seen material over here, and exhibit will be maximum 3 to 4. Okay, not visible. Let me share this again. Now, is it visible to you? Okay, so this will be your initial screen. Again, here you will be getting exhibits as I mentioned in the last class. So you can see 7 or 8 exhibit over here, but now After the introduction of pre-scene, you will be having 3 to 4 exhibit, and rest of the information will be available to you in the form of pre-scene, which will be again available to you in the main examination as well. And pre-scene is the information about the case study, about the industry from which the paper will be tested, and that will be available to you 15 days prior the main examination. And again here you will be having task and again the response option. So always and always make sure, first of all, read these things like, okay, which exhibit is linked to which area, and again then open the task related slide, that is which task they are asking. After opening the task slide, you will be getting the screen like this, that okay, they will be saying you prepare a report for presentation. They are saying prepare a report. Report means you have to prepare the report. If they are saying prepare the presentation slide, then you have to respond in the presentation slide option only. I will be telling you again when we will be covering the long question area, just for your understanding part, that okay, we have to start always and always from the requirement, not from the scratch, not from the case study only. So like here, we have the information. This is our company, Foundry Company, and in the bottom we have task. So you always have to start from task. What they are saying, prepare a report that analyzes the culture of F company and assess the implication of your analysis for the company future performance. Now, what they are saying, I have to prepare a report. So make sure whenever you will be attempting the paper of SBL, your answer should be in report format. Now, after that, what they are saying, professional skill marks are available for demonstrating the analysis skill when reflecting on the implication of Foundry's company culture. So Foundry company culture. Now this question is over. Now this, like, this area relate to part B requirement. So in part B requirement, what they are saying, they are currently reconsidering 3 high level processes. First one is advice on the legal issue, which is currently outsourced. Next is they are considering the software support, which is currently outsourced. And third one is time recording, which is done in-house, bespoke sports software development. So now, like in fast track mode, I get to know that okay, in the main question, I will have to prepare a report regarding the culture of the foundry company, and I have to assess the implication of my analysis on the company's future performance. So that means they are talking about culture. So what was covered under culture? What things we were covering under culture? Remember, there was some topic area regarding culture. There was a question area, topic area regarding culture.
It was cultural web.
Yes, it was cultural web. So we have paradigm under this cultural web, power structure, ritual routines, remember? Control system, symbols. So it is not necessary that you will be writing about each and every point of that cultural web. See, they have not mentioned me to follow the cultural web model, but I know that from the given information, it is possible for me to apply the cultural web, so I can apply that. Now, what I will be doing, I will be again going back to the information to understand what the situation is. So, F company was founded 20 years ago by the technological entrepreneur Ron Yates. It is initially specialized in building bespoke computer software for the financial service industry. However, it has expanded into other specialized area, and it's currently the third largest software house in the country, employing 400 people. It still specializes in bespoke software, although 20% of income now comes from the sales of software package designed specifically for the car insurance. Any doubts till now? Yes.
No, ma'am.
Now, the company has grown based on the work hard, play hard work ethics, and this still remains. Employees are expected to work long hours to take part in the social activities after the work. Revenue has continued to increase over the last few years, but the company had difficulty in recruiting and retaining the staff. Approximately one third of all employees leave within the first year of the employment of the company. The company appears to experience a particular difficulty in recruiting and retain the female staff, with 50% of the female staff leaving within the 12 months of the joining of the company. Only about 20% of the employees are female, and they work mainly in marketing and human resource department. Our company is tech based and the females are less. Females are less and our company is tech based. So and I'm emphasizing on certain points for your reference purpose. And whatever I am marking, that means there is something. Okay. So now next is the company is currently in dispute with two of its customers who claim that its bespoke software did not fit agreed the requirement. The foundry company currently outsources all its legal problems to a law firm that specializes in the computer contract and legislation. However, important of legal advice has led foundry company considering establishment of an internal legal team responsible for advising on the contracts, disputes and employment legislation. The support of bespoke solution and the car insurance software package was also outsourced a year ago to a third party. Although support had been traditionally handled in-house, it was unpopular with staff. One of the senior managers responsible for outsourcing decision claimed that the support were increasingly varied and complex, reflecting incompetent end user too lazy to read user guides. However, outsourcing of support has not provided popular with foundry company customer, and a number of significant companies have been made about the service given to end user. The company is currently reviewing whether our software support process should be brought back in-house. The company is still regarded as a technological leader in the marketplace, although the presence of so many technologically gifted employees within the company often create uncertainty about most appropriately technology to adopt for solution. One manager comment that we have often adopted or about to adopt a technology or solution when one of our software developer will ask, have considered some newly released technology. So we usually admit we haven't, or so we reopen the adoption process. We seem to be in a state constant technology paralysis. Although Ron Yates retired 5 years ago, many software developers recruited by him are still within the company. Some of these have become operational manager employed to manage team of software developers on internal and external projects. SK is one of the managers who originally joined the company as a trainee program. I moved into the management because I need to earn more money. There is limit to what you can earn here as a software developer. I still keep up to date with programming and I am goalkeeper for one of the company's 5-side football teams. I am still one of the boys. However, many of the software developers are skeptical about their managers. One commented that they are technologically years out of date. Some will insist on writing programs and producing code, but take it out again as soon we can and replace it with something we have written. No one are they no only are they poor programmer, they are poor manager and do not really know how to motivate us. Although revenue have increased, profit have fallen. This is also the blamed on the managers. There are always element of ambiguity, specifically customer requirements, and in the past, Ron Yates would debate the responsibility for recruitment changes within the customer. So, next is, however, we now seem to do all the amendments for free. The customer right even when we know he is not. No wonder margins are falling. The manager are not firm enough with customers. Anything till now? Now, next is software developer. And don't worry, I'll show you the screen, the previous screen again. I will be giving you 2 minutes to think, 5 minutes to think, and then we will be doing discussion. Software developers are also angry that an in-house project has been initiated to produce a system for recording time spent on tasks and projects. Some of the justification for this is that few of the projects are on time and material basis and time recording system would permit accurate and prompt invoicing. However, the other justification for the project is that it will improve the estimation of fixed price contracts. It will provide statistical information derived from previous project to assist account manager preparing estimation to produce codes for binding for new bespoke development contracts. We, as one of the current software developers, commented that managers do not even have up-to-date mobile phones. Probably they don't know how to use them. We software developer always have latest gadgets long before they are required to by manager. But I like working here. We have good social scene and after working long hours, we socialize together. So often playing computer games as well as into early hours of the morning. It's a great life if you don't weaken. You are independent. Now, this is our position, and we have to answer considering who we are. I am independent business analyst employed by Foundry Company to advise the board of director on various strategic projects and initiatives. And I have to prepare a report that will analyze the culture of F company and I will assess the implication of analysis. That means my report should assess the analysis of the company future performance. Yes. Let me show you the previous screen once again. And after that, I will split the screen and I'll show you the pointers of cultural web so that it will be easy for you. I truly understand. Maybe you won't remember the pointers of cultural web. So do you remember there were certain points regarding stories, regarding ritual routines, regarding the control system, like a paradigm.
Ma'am, can you explain what importance does the word analytical skill in the question holds? Like it's a like our answer needs to be framed according to that only, no?
See, you have to justify your answer first of all according to the right audience, targeting the who your audience is. Again, the next thing you have to justify, like in this specific question, there is no financial information. So if there were a financial information, you have to do the calculation portion under analysis skill. As of now, just ignore that and give me the pointers of this cultural web. We will be picking pointers by pointer area. Like first of all, I want to prepare you for the topic based area, and then I will be framing your answer according to the analysis skill. But yes, make sure if they have mentioned specifically that like report format, so your answer should be under report format, that is report heading to from subject date. Okay. And if you want me to write the pointers of the cultural web, I can write the pointers of the cultural web as well for your understanding purpose. Like, let me write it down over here. One was paradigm, symbols, ritual routines. I'm just writing the short forms, stories, organizational structure, control system. So these were part of my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Now, under symbols, we were discussing about our values. Again, the power structure, the leaders. Under stories, we were having history, control system, the process, organization system, management style. So, ritual and routines, daily routines. And we have, various pointers linking the question.
Ma'am, for control perspective, we can mention that the ratio of the male to female is less because the employees are being asked to work longer hours. That's why the ratio could be less. So there should be a fixed time that could be implemented, especially for female staffs.
Female staff is the point which should be included, but I don't think so under control system. But yeah, okay. We will frame that.
Ma'am, I think it comes under rituals and routines.
Yes, it should come. And under ritual and routine, something else can also be there.
Long
Like
working hours.
yeah, long working hours. And again, we have the routine of this football match type of thing. Like that's why that's synced with the less females ratio, because female are having such sort of responsibility. We can't go out for matches, or in the last paragraph it was mentioned that after office we hang out together, so it is not possible for females, specifically married female. It is not possible. So the routine purpose, the ritual, the routine is not suitable for the females. We can link it in such a way. Yes. under control system, we include the reward system, basically, like how we are rewarding. Like, we are focused on the cost, we are focused on the quality, like, our employees punished on doing something, and are they rewarded on achieving something?
Ma'am, is the control not related to the system that is in place and how that is being monitored, like what we have in audit, the internal control, or is it different
No,
here?
it is not the control of audit. It is again control. It is control, like how I am controlling you, like by motivating you, like in terms of do this, you will get the reward, or I'm controlling you in such a way that, okay, if you won't be doing this, I will be punishing you. Both are the terms, right, of controlling. One is by motivating you, or by the other one is by threatening you. Again, the control is regarding that, okay, like I am concerned about like controlling in terms of my budget related area, or maybe I'm controlling my quality related areas.
There is low motivation of the employees because the managers don't seem to do something to motivate the software developers.
Correct. Correct. And they are saying that they are not getting good pay. And that's why one of the person was saying that I have left that position because at a managerial position, like management role, he was getting good money. Got that point? I highlighted it somewhere. Remember?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can link it in such a way. Now, next. It's not necessary that you are using all the pointers. See, I am giving you like the pointers. So
Like
like
organizational structure, we can say that the managers are not up to date. They are old. They were since 20
uh,
years. They are in the organization. They're not
organization
upgraded.
structure means, is the structure tall structure, is the structure flat structure, like the chain of command, like the layering, right? One thing. Another thing is the formal and informality.
Ma'am, outsourcing can be included in organization structure. They are outsourcing the activities.
Yeah, you can. You can. Next.
What would the power structure mean?
Power structure means the leader. It's all about the leader. Who our leader is, like, what are his traits, like, like the real power is in which person's hand. Like, it's the management style, it's strict, the management style is friendly, it's about the attitude and the approach of the, like, the real person who is having the authority. And like in our case, we have Ron Yates. So you can link that, definitely.
Ma'am, how we are structuring the report? Is it like we are we are structuring it from the viewpoint of the company, like paraphrasing what's
Have
good and
specifically
what's not?
mentioned us. The question has specifically mentioned us that you are an independent business analyst.
Okay. So, like
So
from an
yes,
outside
you
perspective.
yes, you are, like, you will be giving this, like a report to like a board of that F company, right? Because you are advising the board. So question is giving you idea that whom you have to report to. So you will be reporting to, like, you will be writing report, then two will be your board of directors of F company from business analyst, and then subject analysis of that specific company, and then your introduction. Within 2 to 3 lines, you will be giving the introduction, like linking from the scenario, and then you will be like writing about the culture of that specific company. This should be your format, and with that format you will be getting, like, because this is like analysis skills, you will be getting 2.5 to 3 marks from this, and writing the answer by linking the question, you will be getting total full marks. And
And it
again,
could be It could be good or bad, whatever we are mentioning. It's not like we have to portray a good picture of the company, even if
No,
there
no,
are
no. It
deficiencies.
is not like that. Yeah, you don't have to portray the picture. SBL is all about justification, that yes, if you are in a position to justify your like answer, like maybe one of you is saying about the women ratio, another one is like saying about the football thing, one thing only. So both of you are, if both of you are framing your answer according to the question, according to the case study, and justifying your point, both of you are correct. But it should include information from the case. And you have seen, like, whatever points we have discussed, we have taken reference from the model, right? We have taken the reference, but we are mostly using the information of the question. And this is the demand of SBL. And by chance you got the question regarding the model area, 90% cases, maybe you will be getting the generic, like, your knowledge based area, and it might not be compulsory for you to apply the model. Then in that case, you will be giving your judgmental area based upon the case study. And again, there are students who have not used model in the same question. They just justified their pointers by picking paragraph wise, and they still got marks. Like from every paragraph, because see, by reading the case study, you will get like lot of information, like what is sound or what is not perfect. So like how the culture is. Okay, we have seen that, like, every year, like, people were leaving the organization, and the retention ratio is less. That means there is some cultural related issue in the company as well. Correct? And again, we have seen that, like, the person Ron was the, like, senior person. He was having the highest authority, although he have left. But, the person hired by him are still in the company. Power, is in the hands of that specific area. Now, symbols. Symbol is something which is also available. Think. Office premises, dress codes, language, car, logo, staff title. These are the part of symbols. Technology company, new technology opportunities are arising.
So, ma'am, they have a ethical mindset by the tagline that they have: "Ki work hard, play hard, work ethic," which still remains in the organization.
Yeah. And again, this thing you can also mention in the stories as well. And by linking with the Mr. R, okay, that yes, he was having this, like a work hard, play hard ethics. You can, you can link it over here as well. See, one point you are saying somewhere else, I am saying somewhere else. But if you are in a position to justify your point, you are good to go. Any doubts till now? See, it's the first day of question, and maybe you will be, like, confused. But still, if you are able to understand 50%, then that's fine. Yes, guys, any doubt? Any doubt till now? Anything which you feel struggling? Can I move ahead? And again, see, in the main question, you have seen the information like, yes, implication of your analysis on the company future performance. That means you have to, like, whatever you are analyzing in the case, you have to justify, okay, this will go in future in such a way. You have to link it in such a way. And again, you have to give a like conclusion. Whatever you are like, the culture is this, and yes, the company need to do this. So you have to justify that. Only and only you will be getting professional marks. Yes.
And ma'am, this will keep on changing. No, yesterday the first topic that you covered was this only, where there were, I think, 5 types of skills, communication, analysis skills. For each question, they would be
Testing
like
different.
changing this.
Yes,
Yes.
different. One, see, we have 5 types of skill. One skill costs 4 marks, and in the whole paper area, you will be tested with one skill at only one time. Any doubt till now?
Ma'am, we are able to frame small answers like we are discussing with you, but I'm little skeptical that how will we frame the whole answer? Maybe it's too
See,
early to judge, but
today
yeah.
is the first day, right, of discussion of question. And if you are in a position to give just pointers, at least you are going on the right path. And don't worry, I am very bad, like in the eyes of student, of giving numbers of assignment. You'll say, no, ma'am, we are tired of writing. I won't let you enter into the examination unless I am satisfied. So don't worry, I will keep on eye that yes, what you are writing, how much you are writing. It's just about I wanted to discuss one question area with you because most of you were having one thing in mind, ma'am, like how the question will be tested or what is like what topic area is important. So just to give you idea, I thought to give you idea about the case study. Okay, don't worry. So now, I would recommend we have discussed the pointers. So read the answer of part A as a homework. Now about part B, just let me tell you one thing. Uh, they are saying that prepare the briefing note, evaluate using the appropriate framework or model. That framework or model which will be for this thing because they are giving you outsourcing and something we have not covered yet. This will be part of our different syllabus area. So that's why, let me tell you, there will be Harmon process strategy metrics. So because whenever information regarding whether we have to outsource that or we have to choose that area by our own, we have to apply specific model. So that model is part of different chapter areas. So that's why we can't do this part right now. And that's why I mentioned you like we will be covering 2 to 3 chapters and then only and only we will be picking a question. Now I am jumping towards next question, which is our professional ethics question area. Till then, if you have any doubt.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Will the product or service of the company comes under symbols, ma'am?
Product and services, no, they won't.
Okay, ma'am.
They won't. Yes, anything else?
So will they go under stories then?
So see, you can enter into the management style, like organizational structure, that okay, like what kind of products like services are offered under the management style. But not definitely, and it's not necessary to consider each and every point. So symbols, like see, under symbols you will be discussing about the about like appearance, my company's appearance to the general society. like, maybe the, like, how our office is, like, neat and clean, like, the dress codes, like in a formal dress or informal dress is being weared. So, like, the language we are using, the communication process, the cards the managers are having, uh, like, the staff titles. So these are the part of the symbols related area. So, like, the product or services, you can link it control system as well. Like, that, yes, like, the we are focusing on the product and services, you can link it that. That, yeah, like, we are focusing on our product, we are focusing on our services, and like, how the target, like how they are targeting. So this could be the possibility. Is that fine? So I would suggest have a look on the suggested answer, but let me tell you, maybe you are thinking some different point, and in suggested answer, the point could be different. So don't worry. If you are thinking some different point, just mark that, like, write it somewhere that, ma'am, I have thought this point to be covered under this area. So, and in answer, it was covered in the different area. So we can discuss that later on, because sometimes, like, as I've already mentioned you, it's all about justification. Now, can we proceed to the next case study? Or you have anything in your mind? Uh, this is again, ARC is again relating to leadership. So I want to pick question area of different area right now. So I will be picking that again, but not today. So yes, again, we will be reading the task first, and thankfully it's a, short question. So yes, prepare a briefing notes for JW. So again, for briefing notes, right? You can write FAO. FAO means for attention of, right? Heading briefing note from, then briefing note regarding that specific issue. So this should be your like, format. Again, there is one more format of briefing note is acceptable briefing note to, from, again, subject. So both of the, areas are acceptable in case of briefing notes. Explain the meaning of integrity and for attention of Bunty. Like, it is about two whom we are addressing. Okay. So now next is like, explain the meaning of integrity and importance in professional relationship, such as those described in the case, and critically assess peace as ethical professional behavior in the case. Now they are saying critically assess. That means we have to use somehow the professional skill, and they will be mentioning definitely. So professional skills and marks are available for demonstrating the skepticism. That means you should have a questioning mind. Whatever information is being provided to you, you just can't like rely on the information blindly. It is about critically say, like, whatever I am saying, you have to ask me, ma'am, why? How you can say this? So this is about challenging way. Now, evaluate the alternatives available to JW for resolving the ethical conflicts. Professional marks are available for demonstrating the evaluation skill in assessing the alternatives available to JW. So, like, like, evaluation skill means pros and cons, like, judgment based. You have to be judgmental. Okay, what will be the effect? What will be the positive? What will be the negative consequence of that specific scenario? So now, JW is a junior partner and training manager at MD, a medium-sized firm of auditors. He oversees the progress of the firm student accountant. One of those under J supervision, LX recently wrote in her program an achievement of log about situation in the audit that has disturbed her. On the recent audit of E, a medium-sized firm, family-run business, and long-standing client, M, L was checking non-current asset purchase when she noticed what she thought might be an irregularity. There was an entry of 1 lakh for a security system for an address in a well-known holiday resort with no obvious link with the company. On questioning with ET, the financial controller Lisa was told that system was made for Mr. M Holiday Cottage. M is the managing director of minority shareholders in Mabo. She was told that Martin Mabo often took confidential company document with him to his holiday home and so needed a secure system to the property to protect him. It was because of this, he said it was reasonable to charge the secure system to the company. ET expressed surprise at Lisa's concern and said that auditor had not previously been concerned about the company being charged for non-current assets and operational expenses for Mr. MP personal property. Like I have my home or maybe I have some cottage, I have some property somewhere far away, and again I have installed the secure system there, and then that expenses have been included in the official expenses. So, LT, Lisa told engagement partner, they are talking about the senior auditor basically, PT, what she has found, and PS said that the charge could be probably be ignored. He did not agree, however, to ask a formal explanation from Mr. Martin Mebobo before he signed off the audit. Lisa wasn't at the final clearance meeting but later read the following in the notes from the clearance meeting. Discussed other matter with the client, happy with the explanation. Then I asked my senior that, okay, there is somehow the related issue, and my senior said, okay, we can adjust that. It's normal, just in that way. And again, I asked him to, okay, ask that specific person to give explanation what is the reason for that specific expense. And he said, okay, I'll discuss with him. Like, just create that scenario in your mind, create that picture in your mind. And when I was on leave and on my back, he signed the meeting, he signed the report and finalized that, okay, I'm happy, right? So create that scenario in your mind. So that she, when Lisa discussed the matter with P, afterwards she was told that the matter was now closed and then she should concentrate on her next audit and her important accounting studies. And my boss called in me. Just focus on your work. Don't mess with me. Consider those situations, picturization. That picturization will help you in auditing. That picturization will help you in SBL. So, and he said that, okay, focus in your some other work which are pending. This is now closed, final. When JW read about Lisa's concern and spoke to her directly, he realized that she was in ethical dilemma. Not only should there be a disclosure requirement of Mr. MB transaction, but the situation was made more complicated by the fact PS was a senior to JW in MD, and also by the fact that two men were good friends. Wow. My senior was a friend of that person whose expense he was trying to hide. You are an ethical advisor of Mr. M, who JW approached for advice. Now you are the advisor, right? And you are being approached for the advice. Now you have to prepare the briefing notes for JW that explain the meaning of integrity. You have to tell what is the meaning of integrity. That means honesty, straightfulness, truthfulness. Do not concealing the right wrong thing. You have to be in fair dealings. So this is all about integrity and why it is important in professional relations, such as those described in the case. And then you have to critically assess Mr. PS, which is your senior person, who is your senior person, and professional behavior in the given case. And your skill will be professional skepticism. Got the idea? And see, always divide your answer according to the marks in the main question. They are testing 2 to 3 areas. One area they are testing the meaning of integrity. This is the theoretical portion. Allocate 2 to 3 marks for this. And then importance in the professional relations. Second area this. And again, third area, Mr. P's ethical professional behavior. So see, you have to divide this. And I always recommend add professional marks and then divide. Because on that basis, you will be writing a good lengthy question. And it's not like that filling the pages. It's about having a good length. 2 to 3 like line pointers. Now, think. Integrity, I don't want, we have already. And why it is important, you have to tell me. Please little fast so that you know I can wind up the session and I can let you go. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Please, guys. Why it is important to have integrity?
It's a
So that we can give a true
professional
and
code
fair
of
view.
conduct, and
Yes, it's a professional code of conduct act, right? Then
should not be intimidated in terms of like in the case it's mentioned that there was a long standing relationship with the client. So just because to keep that relationship, we should not be dishonest, and we should give a like we should maintain the integrity in terms of whatever we are reviewing.
see, you are saying me the right, but I want why it is important.
As a professional, we should be unbiased and we should give true and fair view of the financials.
Correct, correct. Next, because see, general public is trusting on my reporting. They are investing considering that auditor have audited these financial statement. So I have the duty. I have the social responsibility as well. Now, okay, coming back to the main question area because that is most important for us. So yes, Mr. P's ethical and professional behavior in this given situation and considering the professional skepticism, challenging still. I am the
There
senior
has
auditor.
been
Yes.
there has been non-disclosure of a material matter in the financials by Mr. P, so which has led to maybe non-professional attitude adhere, as in he's not adhering to professionally to his duties, I'll say.
It appears to be unprofessional. And again, he is having a relationship with that specific client. Again, you have to pick each and every single point. Then and only then your answer will be having a good length. Again, first thing, like he haven't checked that. Next thing, he was having the relationship with that person. After addressing the issue, like when Lisa told him that, okay, there is some issue, he tried to postpone that conversation, to close that conversation. And after that, when when the report was found signed, Lisa was not there, because he know that when if Lisa will be present, she will be asking the queries, she will be finding that yes, what the relationship is, and like maybe she's in a position to find out the truth. Correct. And he is having the familiarity relationship with that specific client. and it's totally unprofessional. So we have picked 4 points. Again, the length is not proper. Like I'm just pointing the the main pointers, so you get to know. That means he was interested in concealing that specific situation. And in the previous audits, it was not checked. So we have picked each and every point. Now, evaluate the alternatives available to JW for resolving the ethical conflicts. Yes.
There should be proper disclosure of the treatment of the uh, asset. Like we should confirm from them like why they have not disclosed it, and a proper disclosure should be made.
Okay. Next, some other point, because see, we have to, write considering 12 marks. So this is not a 12 marks pointer. We need 4 pointers. And based on that, you will be increasing your depth.
Confidential documents are being taken by the I think is a managing director, and these documents should not be taken as it's like there should be a proper control in place, and no confidential document should be taken by the managing director at his home.
Yes. See, there are many approaches to attempt this answer. So again, like giving you one of the way, like they are giving the ethical conflict. So whenever there is ethical conflict, if you want to, you can pick the pointers from the ethical conflict related area. Like you know that there is a friendship related area as well. So that will compromise the situation. Again, Lisa is not in a position to take decision by her own. So you can mention this area as well, and you can elaborate this area as well. Next, other pointers, please. We have 8 participants over here and only 2 are participating. And let me tell you one thing. Those who are participating, I can guarantee today they will pass by minimum 65 to 70 marks. Yes. You all are chartered, guys, please.
Ma'am, since Lisa is not in the position to make decision, she can approach the non-executive members of the board regarding the correction, and she may also, even though after no actions are taken, she may leave the project. She may discontinue the project.
Yeah, she can do that. But again, just discontinue what she can do that. But just let me tell you one thing, according to the case scenario, because she is just a student. So she can complain and she can refuse, but we have to decide that according to the question that whether she's in a position to refuse the work. Most of the time, see, you all are chartered accountants. I also have done my articleship work as well. So I knew that, like, like our principal was not unethical, but yes, whatever work they were giving to us, we have to do that, and you have undergone the same process.
There is a threat of familiarity as well. So the engagement team should be designed in a way that the work should be reviewed by an external EQR, or
Yeah, that is something
uh,
which you can mention.
they should not be working with because they are.
Yeah, that is something which you can mention. And again, you can mention, okay, this situation could also create this threat or this ethical issue. You can mention that. Okay.
Can we say that there has to be a sign off by, let's say, more than one partner of the firm, like maybe John Wang also, if
We can ask that, yeah, we can mention that, yes, dilution of power. Like, dilution of power in the sense that, okay, the one person should
segregation of
not
the
be
issues.
responsible for every single area. And again, that will give the idea that, okay, one person is not in a position to dominate. Okay. So, anything till now? Now, yes, you are in a position to read the question, right? Like, try to read. You have full 1 week. So, read the whole answer, right? Maybe there are certain points which might be different from your thought process. So, that's totally fine. So, read the questions, and in the next class, we will be discussing if you face any issues, and we will be starting with our next topic areas, and then we will be like discussing few more questions as well. Anything?
If you can tell Mr. Poto Center is right or wrong in his approach, because what I am
No,
able to,
he's not right. He's not
I
at all
think,
right.
I think he is right, because there is no wrong in if a person is having any system at his residence, because we also have a laptop, we take it to our home and do all the office stuffs. So I
See,
don't think.
he's having, if you check that holiday home, like secured system, and they are saying that in the question, they are trying to manipulate the situation. Like, I am the auditor, I'm the senior auditor, my intern check that, and I know that that person is my friend, and just to save him, I am saying that, okay, that yes, he often took the confidential company document with him at a holiday home, so need the security system. So see, that holiday home was purchased, that non-current asset was purchased, and sorry, the system was purchased for that specific address, which is not a business address. Nowhere it is mentioned that is the like holiday home is having the connection with the business. They are saying that no obvious link with the company, that resort. That means
I
my
think
personal
I
my
think
personal holiday home, I am expanding to
I
save
think
that area.
I think it's just a trap. What I am able to understand is that we also take laptop to our residence. That is also not office address. So what?
See, the question is asking us to use the professional skepticism. So
But we are
whenever
not
the
charging
professional,
anything if we are taking laptops home. Here they are charging 1 lakh, dollars to the organization. So that
see,
also you have to consider.
yeah, see, I also travel, and I also take classes while traveling. But I don't say that, okay, I will be getting some good hotel like Marriott or like something like that, and the premium room of that like hotel, and I am charging that expenses to VGLD for like that, because I'm traveling and I'm carrying my laptop. I'm not doing that, na?
No, no. I think that $1 lakh is to acquire the security system. MD
Yes.
has not been charged for
So,
that.
okay, to acquire that security system, now let's discuss at your point, to acquire that security system. So, they are already mentioning that they are not having any obvious link to the company premise. That resort is not having any link with the company.
Okay.
And see, this is the beauty of professional skepticism, that whenever you are using the professional skepticism skill, that means you have to challenge whatever is provided to you. You just can't blindly trust. You just have to open your questioning mind eyes.
Yeah, that is a different thing. But
And that's why the question is asking you to use the professional skepticism, and then that's why you are finding the mistakes in that area,
okay, okay then.
right? So,
Yeah, I will have to go through again because actually there are some disturbance in Mumbai. I'm in Mumbai, so
okay.
So did
Okay,
you?
no worries. See, no worries. See, whenever I will be guiding you professional skills, in specific area as well. Right now, my focus is just to make you comfortable with the syllabus area to the question area. Once we are done with 4 to 5 questions, then we will be focusing on professional skills alongside the topic areas.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, so guys, thank you so much, and we will meet in the upcoming weekend. And till then, make sure you are revising well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
guys.